Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back after the break. Once again, I welcome you to this National Summit for Energy Sector, Transforming HR Agenda for Action, presented by BIMTech and the National HRD Network in association with Deloitte and Power HR Forum. We have had a few very lively sessions in the morning as well as in the afternoon. This session now will bring out various perspectives on building leadership pipeline. In order to unleash the potential of the Indian economy as envisaged by the Government of India, we need to unleash the potential of the energy sector and in turn of all the people in the sector. Finding leaders who possess vision, versatility, emotional strength, understanding, execution, and people orientation remains a challenge for business organizations. Research studies and cases show that leadership can be developed. More than in the classroom, leadership is developed on the job. Before we proceed with the session, I would once again like to apprise you with the fact that to help our energy clients better understand and focus their leadership development efforts, BIMTech along with NHRDN under the guidance of Padma Shri Dr. Preetam Singh conducted a qualitative research on the emerging business scenario coupled with the HR scenario, challenges and the way forward in the energy sector. And to share with us, once again, the key findings of the research, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Mansi Chaudhary, the Area Head HR at BIMTech.
Thank you, Ishani. The research findings pertaining to building leadership pipeline are as follows. In the light of the evolving dynamics of unpredictable change, talent has to be built into leadership roles. A dedicated leadership development program should not only be for the top management, but also for the middle management and below. Another finding from the study said that middle management and downwards need to develop on the various facets of leadership, like change management and adaptability, to face the competitive pressure. Also, HR interventions for organization transformation and development should be thoroughly aligned with long-term business needs and should be seamlessly executed at the operating core. So what are the issues that emerge from these findings? Some of them listed out here are: what frameworks should companies adopt to groom managers for their transition from the managerial orbit to the leadership orbit? How do we inculcate adaptability and change management skills in middle management so that they can drive the top leadership agenda in their specific domains? And what leadership competencies are most important for the energy sector for top leaders, middle management, and operating core respectively? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And now, to know the opinions of our worthy panelists on the topic and to take the discussion forward, I take the opportunity to invite on stage our chairperson and moderator for the afternoon, Mr. S.K. Chaturvedi, former chairman of Joint Electricity Regulatory Commission for the State of Goa and Union Territories. In a career spanning about 35 years, he has served in the leading PSUs like National Mineral Development Corporation, NTPC, Power Grid Corporation of India, and NHPC. He has had the rare distinction of having experience in generation, both thermal and hydro and power transmission projects. With an MSc in Geology and PG Diploma in Personnel Management and Industry Relations, Mr. Chaturvedi has been conferred with many awards and the feature in the 100 Most Powerful CEOs of India by Economic Times in 2009 and among the 26 modern Indian builders by India Today in 2010. Sir, it is a pleasure to have you with us today. I would now like to invite the panelists for the session in alphabetical order to take their seats on the dais. I begin by inviting our first panelist, Mr. Gautam Chainani, Group President HR, JSW, a senior human capital executive with an experience of around 30 years in leading the HR function in a wide range of industries. In his present role, he is responsible for the entire gamut of human resource function across the JSW Group companies. Mr. Chainani has done his master's in personnel management and industrial relations and has worked in HR leadership roles in organizations like HUL, Wipro, American Express, to name a few. Welcome, sir. Our next panelist, Ms. Meenakshi Davar, Executive Director HR, Power Grid Corporation of India. Ms. Davar is a postgraduate from Delhi University and an MBA from University of Hull, United Kingdom. She has spent the last 34 years working in NTPC and Power Grid Corporation of India in the HR department. She has handled all aspects of HR like policy, training, appraisals, promotions, establishment, transfers, industrial relations, and manpower planning. She's a passionate trainer of soft skills herself and has a keen interest in studying human behavior and psychology. Welcome on board, ma'am. I now invite our next panelist, Mr. Sabi Kidwai, Director HR, Schindler Electric. Mr. Kidwai holds a bachelor's degree in physics and master's in human resources management. He is responsible for leading HR for Schindler Electric infrastructure industry, automation field, and consulting services. His expertise lies in developing programs and initiatives for leadership development and talent management. He has been a speaker at various management and academic forums and enjoys sharing knowledge. Pleasure to have you on board, sir. Our next panelist, Dr. Subir Verma, Senior Professor of OB and HR, Fore School of Management. Professor Verma has been Dean Academics at IIM Ranchi, Dean Corporate Relations, Placements, Alumni Affairs, Chairman Corporate Relations, and Chairman PGDM at MDI Gurgaon. He has designed and conducted MDPs for top and senior level management organizations such as ONGC, SAIL, IOC, RBI, etc. Professor Verma has consulted with the World Bank, the National Geographic Channel, National Insurance, so on and so forth. He has authored 3 books and presented his research papers in many international conferences. Welcome, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an extremely captivating session with this power-packed panel. I now hand over the session to the chairperson and moderator, Mr. S.K. Chaturvedi, for further deliberations.
Thank you. Distinguished participants and learned panelists, let me start from the sentence which Saptarshi spoke before starting his session. He said it is very difficult to start a session after the lunch. And my session is much more difficult because it's last session and it is after tea. So, but fortunately, I am seeing a lot of participants. So, we are happy that somebody is here to listen. But topic is also very interesting. Building pipeline for leadership. For us, succession planning with dedicated training and also creating a panel or a chain in which transparently leaders are created to take the positions in different organizations. For the last 40 years, I worked in public sector only. So I have very little knowledge, but from my experience, I can say that the process of building leadership or succession planning or building a leadership pipeline is very different in PSU or as compared to private sector. Let me start that what happens in PSU. For making pipeline for building leadership, you must have a dedicated top management who can head the organization for a very long period and who can oversee the development of their juniors from time to time and then take care of their succession planning, job rotation, etc., etc. Mentoring too. But unfortunately, in PSUs, what happens that directors and chairmen, they come only for 3 years or 5 years. Rarely, it extends beyond 6 to 7 or 8 years. So they get very little time to assess what potential, what talent the juniors are having who can be developed for taking future responsibilities. But still, they depend upon HR, but there is no mechanism as such which HR can say that this particular executive is having talent, this can be developed, because that is not liked by other seniors. Because they think their juniors are much more talented, learned. And also it happens that the sound technological knowledge is being taken as important thing in all PSUs. With the result, a discussion or a topic for discussion also arises whether technical competency of any person leads to leadership competency, or a technical knowledge, very good technical knowledge, is impediment for a good leader. So these are few questions through which we will start. And first, I will ask Meenakshi, what PSU, particularly Power Grid or power sector, they have tried to build a pipeline for succession planning or building leadership in the organization and her experience with PSU.
Thank you, sir. I'd start at a very micro level. We've been hearing macro level things, but I'd start at the grassroots level. A little bit about Power Grid, a little bit about what we are doing, and then I'm going to throw up a few issues that we've been facing as HR people and leave the floor open for discussions on those issues. Now, Power Grid was formed, and we are now almost 27 years old. We were formed by the amalgamation of 6 to 7 companies. So we had no childhood, we had no infancy. We straight away grew into an adult organization. We had no freedom to recruit our people. We just got people on an as-is, where-is basis along with the transmission lines. Today, we are proud to say that we are like one organization, well amalgamated, one grid, one frequency, and one culture that we've developed over a period of time. Now, as far as the leadership is concerned, I'd like to tell you that whatever things we have been doing are almost all our chairmen and 95% of our directors are from within the organization. That is one thing. And a lot of our people have also moved out in senior level, organizations as directors and chairmen to various other organizations. I wouldn't really put, my finger on certain points that, okay, this is what we've done, this is what we've done. But in general, I'd like to tell you one thing, that, we had started a few issues that have come to my mind is that today our manpower over the years has grown only 35%, whereas the turnover and the profit have grown almost 2,000%, 1,900%, and the profit per employee has also increased by 1,400%. That is while we do not have any barometer or any thermometer, okay, that we can put into an individual and check, is he motivated enough? And will he be as motivated as he is today in the next few years? We don't have that. So what we have with us is that we don't have any such barometer to measure the HR. But if the organization is doing well, we can say that, okay, it's because of the HR. And another thing that I'd like to throw up is that the role of HR in an organization